you're from Manila, Arkansas.
I am.
Tell us about growing up in Manila.
I did.
Give me more than one word. Tell me about growing up in Manila, Arkansas.
Brevity is good.
Not when you're interviewing somebody. It is not. Tell me about growing up in Manila. What was it like?
I grew up in Manila. I played basketball, baseball, but we didn't have a football team at our school. Then I did some other things. I served in World War II in the 12th Air Corps. And as far as comfort said, that's all I'll say about that.
You moved to Texas when?
1964.
Were you married when you moved to Texas?
Oh, certainly.
Your wife?
My wife was Helen.
How long were y'all married?
I'd known her in school, high school. We married as teenagers. See, we were together 23,150 something days, as best I can remember. She got on to heaven.
So in 1964, you bought a radio station in Silsbee, Texas.
Yes, sir.
And how did that go? Tell us about your radio experience.
It went real good. I guess I maybe might have thought I was a teacher, and I taught several people to become first-class engineers, which every radio station in those days had to have a first-class engineer. I taught many people to get the third-class license, which is permission to operate the radio station, and talk about it and play the music and run the commercials and all of that. Then I broadcast a lot of ball games. I don't really know how many, but a bunch. We broadcast every kind of ball game we had a chance, including, started out, wasn't a sport, but I broadcast a baptizing in the Mississippi River. And that was back in the days when you had a hard time getting there somewhere and getting on the air. That's 50 years ago or so.
Back then, you used to hook up the telephone lines. I saw one picture.
Sometimes, yeah, back in those days, wasn't like it is now. You had to find a telephone line somehow. Either you get the telephone company to come and tie you onto a line, or you go down to somebody's line, which is, you got too many for the telephone people, so they just started letting me tie on anywhere I could go. That worked out pretty good for me. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun, it was a lot of good. And I know you're thinking, did I do any unusual games? Oh, well, I broadcast a ball game from the top of my van, sitting on the street corner by a little drive-in grocery store where I'd using a pay telephone to see the scoreboard at the football field, and I could tell everything the listener really needed to know except who the players, who the quarterback was, who the players are. But I could tell every move they made, every down they played, which down it was, how far they gained or lost, changed hands, and where the ball was, what the score was, time, all that by looking at the scoreboard. If I'm not badly remember, well, someone told me it's probably one of the best ball games I'd ever broadcast.
I know you do a lot of craft work. You make door stops. I've seen some birdhouses and some staff.
When I came to Texas, my Helen went to school at the University of Mexico in Mexico City, and she wanted me to paint a bullfighter. I told her I couldn't, but eventually she persuaded me I could, and I did. After that, then, it turns out the highlight, someone came along and from a local church and wanted me to paint the pastor, and I told them I couldn't do that, but they insisted till I did, and he hung it in his church, and then the church came along, a couple of pastors, and asked me to paint a picture of painting of Jesus and John baptizing Jesus in the Jordan River, and the bird, that's what they said. Well, anyhow, I told them I couldn't do that, I didn't think, but they persuaded me I could. Eventually I gave it a try, and eventually I came up with, for an amateur, it had to be a masterpiece. There's one hanging here in Silsbee, there's one hanging in the Northside Baptist Church in Bernie, Missouri. In this painting, which I just started painting, it's 4 by 8, big piece, same size as a sheet of plywood, I started painting hills over on one side and coming this way, and started painting hills on the other side coming this way, and eventually I got sort of, and I just smoothed it off down between. It turns out that's the plains of Jezreel in this painting. If you're looking at the painting from Jordan, from the high mountain supposedly, where Moses had brought his million people out of Egypt, and you could look there, you could see straight through, you'd see the Mediterranean Sea. Well, then, first thing I know, I had the Sea of Galilee up here, had the Dead Sea over here, had the Jordan River running along through there from the Sea of Galilee to the Dead Sea, and lots of places up there. There was Jericho, Gilgal, Ai, Nazareth, Jerusalem, just the whole, I like it. I'm thankful that I was able to paint it. I'm thankful that I did get to paint those two paintings.
Now you've got a golf cart business, and you also do a talk show for the web.
Oh yeah, we are in the golf cart business, and we try to sell a few golf carts, but then on the internet. I'm not supposed to be talking when I'm interviewing, but I'm a man of few words, you know. Yeah. Hey, you know I hardly hear.
I know you do.
And I read lips, and I make up some stuff, you know, and I can play it down that way. You want me to start counting, or y'all going to start counting, or you want me to start talking?
Anytime you get ready, JP, go.
You're a local legend, JP. You've
Oh.
done your job, you've done it well, and I just appreciate the excitement you bring to Silsbee and to Silsbee sports, and just even to our community. So I want to say thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
And your philosophy of life, you have anything you want to share with us?
Oh, well, do unto others as you'd like them to do unto you. Forgive real fast like. If somebody mistreats you, or you think they did, forgive them. And just because we were all, we were created originally from dust, there's no reason for us to treat the other fellow like dirt, and I don't.